Today, we're going to take a look at Tormentor X Punisher, a gritty, vulgar, in-your-face twin-stick shooter by the developers over at eStudio. Upon starting the game, we are greeted with a brief intro to the main protagonist, Terminator something, and her beef with the demons on planet Fuck You. That may seem silly and even a bit immature, but that seems to be the point. There is actually far more depth to be explored than what we are led to believe at first, and that's just one of the impressive features of this game's design that set it apart from the others in this genre. Well, let's check it out.
Let's fucking do this! Let's fucking do this! Bring it, buddy!
Okay, now that we've checked out the game, let's go over some pros and cons, and then we'll get to the final rating at the end. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned this game has a lot of depth. To start, let's take a look at the audio. First off, the music and sound effects work great to pull you into the game, not letting a single event or button press go unnoticed. It's responsive, tactile, and it sounds great. Another highlight is the voice acting. It goes without saying that this is one of the most vulgar protagonists I've ever come across, and it's actually done pretty well. The voiceovers are also used to motivate the player in a powerful but indirect way. You feel the excitement of hearing "fuck you" as you blast enemies to pieces. Then, to make sure you come back for revenge, you are mocked by the little green demon Twerp after you inevitably meet your demise. The game urges you to keep playing by giving you this vocal praise as you rack up kills and climb the leaderboards, but laughs in your face when you fail, taunting you to try and prove yourself again. Lastly, the music deserves a bit of discussion. It's heavy, it's distorted, and it just fits great. The variety of the music is important too. The game has a few different boss battles, with each having its own unique music, further building up the world without any explicit storytelling. Some other things I like besides the audio: you'll come across an interesting combo system. Killing enemies by ricocheting your bullets off walls and shields earns you powerful upgrades. A lot of the game is hidden in finding these attack modifiers, so players are encouraged to experiment with different playstyles. This is really clever. Another crafty mechanic you'll notice is the evolution of the playing field. Some bosses leave behind terrain-altering obstacles as you try and defeat them. This goes on to create a labyrinth-like playing field as you progress. In the event you encounter a boss that creates these obstacles, it does you well to defeat them early as to keep the arena from becoming too maze-like. Moving around is crucial to staying alive, and this becomes increasingly difficult as you reach every new boss. Once you've got the hang of the game, the high scores and the prestige of becoming the daily Punisher keep you coming back. There is lots of replayability to be had in competition with other players. Okay, I know I said cons in the beginning of the video, but I really only have one gripe with this game. It happens to be with its excessive effects and feedback. In other words, the visual noise and ambiguity you experience is my main concern. At any given time, there are hordes of enemies in all directions, countless blood spatters and debris flying all over the screen, all the while the camera is shaking and zooming violently with each bullet you fire. Keeping in mind you only have one hit point, it's very easy to walk into a sneaky projectile that abruptly sends you to the grave. I'm glad there's an option to disable screen shake and highlight the player with a flashy ring, but I would still argue that the visual chaos can be overwhelming. This is not the worst thing, but I do feel like a lot of players, including myself, are missing out on a lot of the game's content. There are some who will say, "Just get good," but to me personally, denying players a large part of the experience you set out to create isn't a smart design choice. Well, with that being said, let's get an overall rating. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. This is a very well designed and almost perfectly executed game. It brings a much needed freshness to the twin-stick shooter genre and stands on its own with many new and unique qualities. As Terminator something, you can expect to die a lot. It's an extremely unforgiving game which can be frustrating at times. At others, you'll feel like the king or queen of Planet Fuck You. If you like a challenge and don't mind over-the-top vulgarity, this is a game for you, especially if you've played Geometry Wars. Pick this up for $8 on Steam or Humble, you won't be sorry. You can find a link to the game's homepage in the description, as well as the game developer site. Leave a comment to suggest a game that you would like to see played and reviewed. And that's it. Thanks for watching.